right, with that being said, let's bring you this. Today we're focused on the safety of children as the country marks Child Protection Week. The SA Depression and Anxiety Group says that drug use among children is getting worse. It believes parents have an important role to play in stopping this abuse. So to discuss this even further, we're now joined by independent child and adolescent psychiatrist, Dr. Terri Henderson. Thank you for your time, Doc, and good morning to you. How big of a problem is it, children and drug abuse, particularly in this country?
So, I mean, it's a huge problem. It's good that you're discussing it. It's really, the prevalence levels are extremely high, and it's a significant problem for this age group. And in terms of their development and their involvement in communities, it's a really, really significant problem. The short-term and the long-term consequences are so negative that intervention and the highlighting of this issue is really critical at the moment.
We saw a video.
If we think about why...
Yeah, if I may just, Doc, I mean, we once saw a video going viral on social media of uniform-wearing, school-going children on school premises, engaging in their numbers, in substance during school hours. Also, I can imagine. What types of substances do children use right now? Because I think this would also be helpful in parents also getting to see some signs, which we'll get into, just in terms of helping parents also assist in tracking some signs in their children.
Okay, so when you first highlight the problem is that substance use within schools is an enormous problem. There's a lot of dealing going on in schools and amongst pupils. Teens and kids are using, usually the start-off substance is cannabis. That's usually the lead substance, and following that we start getting into the other substances, and then we're seeing certainly huge numbers of children using tic or methamphetamine, other such stimulants, and then mandrax and cocaine, and there are a whole lot of names for these other substances. But essentially cannabis is usually your introduction, and that leads you to a number of other substances. So what parents need to look out for is, well, firstly, we're hoping parents are not using, because that's also a big problem, is that a lot of our parents are substance abusing as well. But otherwise, what parents need to look out for would be a change of behavior. So you know your teen in a certain way, and suddenly they're behaving differently. So they're avoiding you, they're spending less time with you, coming home late at night, or suddenly they have a new group of friends who seem to be doing some risky activities. Spending more time away from home. Yeah. And then coming home looking perhaps intoxicated, so red eyes, smelling like they've used substances, and a fall-off in self-care and a fall-off in general functioning. So school marks dropping, anything that indicates that they're not functioning like they used to.
So, Doc, where do these children get these substances from? Who is applying these children with these drugs?
They get access from schools. There are dealers that sit around the schools, so they get access from each other. They get access from dealers who make themselves available around schools, and then they get access within the community. So they get access from their neighbors or at home. So unfortunately, it's so easy to access substances, and that's the biggest problem here.
Yeah, and some of the risks associated with them using drugs, of course, include them dropping out of school, obviously falling pregnant for the girl child, and the list just goes on and on. With the little time I have left with you, how can we break the cycle? Is it possible, and how can we do so if so?
So look, the important thing is that we need to create spaces for kids and teens that are constructive and healthy. So at the moment they leave school and they go nowhere, and there's nothing to do out of boredom. So they hit the streets. So our schools need to be providing constructive extramurals. All the communities need to be providing spaces where kids can go to and interact with each other in a healthy way, through sport or through art or through some kind of outlet. So that we are creating healthy spaces so that they don't, out of boredom, just hit the streets and get access to substances. That's how we can immediately help teens specifically in creating environments where they're protected from that and where they can make other decisions, and they're protected from the peer pressure of using substances. The broader sort of challenges are about managing substance abuse in communities, but that we can't discuss today. Educating kids, educating teachers, educating those that have access to kids to be more informed and to know what to do. We also need to be able to offer rehab facilities to youngsters, which at the moment we have very little resources to. So they should be able to get into rehab quickly so that it doesn't become a long process of substance abuse, which has a really poor prognosis.
All right. Well, I appreciate you speaking to us this morning about this important issue as we, of course, continue to mark Child Protection Week. Dr. Terri Henderson, thank you for your time.